Hello class and welcome back. Write a program named count vowels that accepts a phrase from the user and counts the number of vowels in the phrase. For this exercise, count both uppercase and lowercase vowels, but do not consider Y to be a vowel. All right, let's go ahead and open up Visual Studio. This shouldn't be too bad. We're going to create a project. It's going to be a console app, and we're going to say count vowels. Let's get rid of our starter code. We're going to be using system, using static system.console. We're going to have a class called count vowels. Open and close curly brace for the body. We're going to have a static void main method, and then open and close curly brace for its body. So what we're going to do is we're going to get something from our user. So we're going to take a look at we're going to get a string variable of entry from our user. We're going to ask our user. Let's go ahead and prompt our user. We're going to do a write statement. We're going to ask our user to enter a string to count vowels. Okay. And so because we're counting vowels, we need to kind of know what they are. Okay, so we're going to do something just a little bit more advanced here. We're going to have what's called an array. So we're going to set up a string, and we're going to have an open and close straight bracket. And we're going to name this array vowels. So what an array is basically multiple variables inside of one variable. Okay, so the way we're going to set this up is we're going to have a kind of a body for the array, and inside there we're going to look at the different characters. So we're going to have a big A, and then we're going to have a little a. We're going to have a big E, or big E. We're going to have a little e, A-E. We're going to have a big I. We're going to have a little I. We're going to have a big O, or big O. Little o. We're going to have a big U. We're going to have a little u. So we have all, we have all the vowels there, A, E, I, O, and U. They're all listed in what's called an array. An array, like I said, it's just a way to store multiple items in one variable. And the way you do it is you have the data type, and then you have straight brackets to let the program know that you're going to be using an array. Then you name that array just like you would name another variable, and then you have a body for the array that's encompassed in curly braces as well, just like the body for your main method is encompassed in a curly brace. And then you just list off everything in that array separated by commas. So there we go. So after we get this array, we're going to need a few other variables. We're going to need an integer, x. We're going to need a count variable as well. So we're going to have an int for count. And we're going to start count at 0. Count is going to be just like the number of vowels. We're going to count them up as we go. Okay, so we have our user entering their string, their entry, and then entry is going to equal the read line. Okay. And now that we have entry, we've listed all of our vowels that we're going to be checking against. We're going to actually need another variable. And the reason we are is because we're going to use one to go through the entry, and then we're going to use the Y to go through the vowels. So what we're going to do is we're going to just have a nested loop right here. We're going to have a for loop. And in the for loop, we are going to be looking at the entry. And we're going to be comparing the index position of the entry to everything in the vowels array to see if they match. So for x equals 0, that's where we're going to start. As long as x is less than entry dot length, we're going to keep going with this for loop. We're going to increase x every time we go through. And in that, what we're going to do is we're going to say for, and we're going to do a nested loop. And this time we're going to be using y to go through the vowels. So for y, we're going to set it up at position 0 as long as y is less than vowels.length. So we're doing it the same way. We're going to increase y. Oh, increase y. So I have these for loops going on. We're going to be looking through the vowels each time. If the vowel matches the entry, then it is not going to, it's not going to register, or it is going to register. You'll see as we go. Okay, so we're going to do an if statement. And if string dot equals, and we're going to do entry dot substring x comma 1, because we're only going to take one position where x is, and we're going to do vowels. We're going to do a straight bracket and then y. So if that is the case, we're going to increase our count. So this line of code right here, I'm sorry, this line of code is the one that might trip you up. So if string dot equals entry string x1, this right here is taking a look at whatever the user types in. So if the user types in Bob, B-O-B, we're going to look at the first iteration of this is going to be B. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at B, and if B equals vowels y, so we're going through y, we're going through the vowels every single time. And so we're going to check, does B equals A? No. Does B equal A? No. Does B equal E? No. So we're just going through this loop and we're checking every single time to see if B from Bob equals one of these letters. The answer is going to be no, it's not going to work, and so we will not increase our count, right? But O, the next one, is going to match here. So we're going to increase our count there. All right. So now what we have to do is we have to do a write line. Let's see. And we have to let our user know how many vowels there are. So we're going to say something like there are 0 for a placeholder, vowels in, and then a 1 for your entry. So count and then entry. And that should be it. Let's go ahead and run our program. So let's do something real easy like Bob. There's 1 vowels in Bob. Okay, let's do another one. And let's do something like bookkeeper. There are 5 vowels in bookkeeper. All right, so our program works. I see no issues with it. If you have any questions, please let me know. But we will see you all in the next video. You guys have a great day.